Uh-oh. Who did we lose?
Oh yeah. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
found an article on Bounding into Comics, which brings up
Huh.
an interesting thing. This is by John F. Trent. See, prolific Batman writer Chuck Dixon explains why the superhero cycle had a good run, but it's over. What do you guys think? Is the superhero cycle in Hollywood pretty much run its course?
Yes.
Until
Yeah.
they
I mean,
can
there's
learn-
always going to be superhero movies, but in the way we've been seeing them.
until they can learn how to make real superheroes with morals again. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing about the comic book movies and superhero movies. The superhero is not a genre; it's more of a setting. You can have a comedy, you could have a romance, you could have a horror, a drama, a thriller, all set in comic book or superhero settings. So it's like calling that the genre. You can tell any kind
I
of
agree.
story within that. So it doesn't,
But for-
like you said, it doesn't have to die, but they don't have writers worth a damn.
Well,
What
how
are you
are
gonna
you
say?
defining that?
Defining
A
what's that?
superhero story? Because we've been talking about Hercules for hundreds of years,
Yep.
and if
Things
you
go in cycles. The mythology of old, that's their old comic books.
Right.
They're superheroes.
and if
We
you go
had
into
him
the
here
Bible,
in the US
that's
too.
even
Paul
further
Bunyan.
back. Yeah.
Yep. The American Tall Tales. Maybe I shouldn't bring those up because Hollywood might go, we haven't destroyed and desecrated those yet. Let's
remember
make
those
Paul
cartoons.
Bunyan a chick. It's the bearded lady, everybody.
I actually like the old 90s Disney movie Tall Tale with the blue buffalo and the cat.
Yeah,
the
Babe the
Twister
Ox.
Rider.
That's Paul Bunyan's ox.
Yeah,
I
I
still
know.
know the Pecos Bill song pretty much by heart. My grandfather
wait
used to
until
sing
they
it all
get
the
to-
time.
Yeah, wait until they get to Jesse James.
Readout, are you alive? You keep cutting in on us.
Oh, I'm alive.
I
I'm
don't
dying
believe you.
inside, but I'm alive.
That I do believe.
Okay. Well, in this article, it says Dixon made the assertion that the superhero film cycle was over in a post to his personal Facebook. He shared a screenshot of Michael Keaton's Batman coming face to face with Ezra Miller's The Flash. He captioned it
It's all
writing, the
over.
superhero cycle had a good run, but it's over. Speaking with Bounding into Comics, Dixon, who is currently crowdfunding a Rambo prequel story titled First Kill, elaborated on his assertion. First Kill, I'm sick to death of prequels, but because of who's writing it, I'm interested.
That and he's working with Sylvester Stallone himself because Sylvester Stallone owns the Rambo rights. So him and they are actually trying to make a legitimate recruiting story for Rambo.
Cool. All right. So at least we know it's two people right there who respect past IP.
Mhm.
Because I do think I've heard Sylvester Stallone. He gets pissy when people take projects he was part of and start to change it without him.
No. He actually approached them and asked if they wanted. I would one week they were on Tuesday night's main event with Geeks and Gamers, and they were talking about it with Chuck Dixon, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I got approached. They told me to sit down, and somebody else. There's a third person that's the mediator between the two. Told me to
Yeah.
sit down and told me the plan, and I said, hell yeah, sign me up."
Anyway, first he detailed every movie cycle ends. Westerns give way to spies, who give way to horror, and on and on. The superhero genre, see, that's where I disagree. It's not a genre. I mean, arguable semantics perhaps, but
Listen, here's why I'm gonna disagree with you, Wrangler.
all right.
I mean, it is a genre,
Seems.
just like westerns. Westerns, you can do horror stories and all this other stuff, comedies and everything else, but it still is part of a western genre.
Yeah, good point. But I mean, my point is, until they started doing the cookie cutter bit, no comic book movies shouldn't all be the same. It's not all the same. Here I come to save the day. No, we have all sorts of different types of stories that could classify as their own genres to tell within that kind of setting. But I mean, yeah, good point is it just seems like it's gotten stale, and it shouldn't be, because there's so many options of what they could do, and they're just not doing it.
Well, I mean,
Because,
Marvel's
they're too busy
Yeah.
focused on the message, I guess.
Marvel and Disney just flown right into the mountain. Fucking DC can't even get off the ground without, blowing up.
Yeah, every time.
You pushed normies away. Normies are not even really wanting to watch this shit anymore. You broke that.
Yeah, and after they fought so hard to get the normies, because for a while, a comic book movie, you would just get the fringe comic book fans to come see it. That's it. The general population couldn't care less. Now that we got all their attention, they just started packing it full of the same crap that's in everything else. And I thought it was really weird during, like, before Infinity War, when just as they're getting new popularity to these characters on the screen, it's like, oh, wow. This is a success they haven't seen ever. And just as they're gaining that, the characters they're gaining that success with are the ones they immediately changed in the comics. I'm like, why are they killing off the guys that they're just starting to make popular? This makes no sense. I didn't
'Cause
realize.
they didn't want to recast.
Yeah, what I didn't realize is they wanted to replace anyone who was white or male with someone who wasn't, because they're a bunch of ethnocentric idiots. Yeah, I don't have it queued up, but what was it? Readout found it last week, I think, the message.
It's
I
in
feel like-
private chat.
Yeah. I really do need to make a clip. I have to share. I have to share the
message.
screen over to play that. But see,
And that is what's wrong with not just superhero films, but just about anything media related in present day.
because it's all
It's
everyone
simple,
being
but the
told
truth.
to be told. They're all being told what to say by the same source. It seems it's got to be, because this kind of stuff being pushed that much is
That
there's no way
ESG
it's
score,
organic.
man.
Yes,
Yeah.
ESG score, and then they're also the
Oh,
fucking writers. They were requiring a certain amount of you had the diversity hires and shit like that.
Yep.
All this stuff.
But I can't remember where I heard it. I heard it earlier today, so this may or may not be true. But word is they're trying to change ESG. Not they still want to do the ESG score, but they want to call it something else. They want to change what it's called because people are getting pissed off with it already. They need to rebrand.
Yeah, but rebranding ain't gonna do shit. People are still gonna just or whatever it gets
Yeah.
changed.
They're still
to.
going to push
Right.
it.
All right, the population, we could be a bunch of dense morons at times, but we're not flat out stupid. We catch on eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see. I don't think a rebranding of Bud Light's gonna do anything either.
No.
Same
Do you know
situation.
how many different times I had the McMahon family and WWE tell me, "Oh, we're going to change our ways"? I cannot be fooled.
What was Razor Fist's joke? It wasn't a surprise that Vince McMahon was cheating on his wife with women, or cheating on his wife. Is that it was with women?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, back to what Chuck Dixon was saying. He went into why he believes it's over for superheroes at the box office, but a number of factors have.
Herman?
Huh?
Oh, James and Herman are in the chat. I was just saying hi. Sorry.
Oh, by all means, always say hi to the chat. Especially since I've been over here off the page and didn't realize it was happening. So, all right. Oversaturation, inconsistent quality, and Hollywood's restricted access to Chinese market. Dixon then pointed to the mismanagement in the most prominent superhero universes by both Warner Brothers and Disney. Both Disney and Warner's are to blame as well. Marvel fans had to put up with a steady assault of woke content, an overbearing amount of comedy included in material.
Whoa,
the
they said
general-
woke?
Yeah, this is what Chuck Dixon said. Yeah, this is a
But the
quote from
fact
Dixon.
that they
quoting Chuck
actually
Dixon.
published it, I am impressed.
Yep. An overbearing amount of comedy included in material, a general decline in the quality of effects, and most damaging, a deliberate departure from the source material at every opportunity. Yeah, they didn't just change a few things here and there as they went. They made drastic changes, as he said, every opportunity. see, DC screwed the pooch by constantly rebooting their franchise with new, I think that's supposed to say actors and casts. In addition, they diluted their brand with multiple different and conflicting continuities spread across TV and features. He asserted which Batman is real, who is the authorized Superman. Pointing to the most recent Flash film, Dixon said, and they damned themselves with the latest Flash flick by leaning to all the multiverse nonsense in order to cram in as many cameos into this failed project as possible.
Not to mention Ezra Miller.
Yeah, that's just a whole issue in and of itself right there. I mean, I think everything Chuck Dixon is saying here, and you put it right next to Ezra Miller, and they kind of are balance even on the scale.
Well, not only that, but their most fatal mistake, which Chuck didn't say, was when they brought on Henry Cavill, got the audience excited, and fired him not even 2 weeks later.
That's when the studio directly pissed off their audience. I mean, as more so than any other point is when they said, "Yeah, we got him." It's like, no, we're done. I don't think any studio's done something to piss off their core audience as much as that ever.
And then they said they're rebooting.
And the big problem is, all these big studios, they're missing the landing with ending their series. They effectively ended the MCU, all their big stuff when hello, chill kid. They effectively ended it with the Avengers Endgame. There was nothing more to do on a large scale. They bungled it. They just kept going when it was done.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man Far From Home would have been a great epilogue for the series, and maybe then they should have given it a break for a few years and started over it once they had all their properties.
And he disappeared.
Yep. Yeah, it was having trouble connecting when I tried to put him in to begin with. So he might kind of glitch in and out a couple times before it sticks.
Also, when I look at a photo with Bat Keaton and the two Ezra Millers in the background, I just see a double barrel shotgun pointed at Batman's head. Held at gunpoint. Forced to be a part of this.
Guilty Gear had asked, Bounty in the Comics is JDA's site, isn't it? Maji's surprised because she thought it was mainstream. Is it JDA's site?
Even if it is just JDA's site, I'm surprised it hasn't been flagged for saying it.
Well, if it's their own site, they're not going to get flagged. They can say what they want. If they're on a different service to be on there, then they could get pegged. But I haven't been to the site too many times, so I don't know.
But yeah, no, it's. I honestly think Flash was doomed the moment they got rid of Henry Cavill and kept Ezra Miller.
I agree. But that Henry Cavill bit, that really, really pissed off their main audience. Like
the one guy that actually gave an F about
the one guy that could have brought your audience back. What do you guys think is probably going to be the next stop? According to this, he says there's more horror films in production currently than the entire history of cinema, and also goes on with mid-budget action flicks with bankable leads is what it looks like he's thinking is going to be the next wave of cinema.
I think it's going to be gaming. I know gaming movies have failed miserably in the past. But between Sonic and Mario, it opened up not just to video games, but tabletop gaming too. And I know Wizards of the Coast pissed off a lot of people, and that their D&D movie did bad, but the people that actually did watch it seemed to like it.